Okay, you just are not going to believe what Mitt Romney actually said about you.
Americans are lazy.
Can you believe that? That's what the leading Republican presidential candidate thinks is wrong with America? That Americans are lazy? That's pathetic. But he's not the only Republican presidential candidate who thinks that. You know the oops guy, the guy who can't finish a sentence or a so-called thought in the presidential debate?
The third agency of government,
yeah.
I would do away with the education, commerce, and let's see, I can't. The third one I can't. Sorry. Oops.
Yeah, that guy. He actually said pretty much the same thing Romney did, and it wasn't one of those off-the-top-of-his-head, unscripted, crazy moments. It was actually scripted and performed by him in a campaign commercial. Look at this.
Americans are lazy? That's pathetic.
Okay. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, maybe Rick Perry is stupid enough to say that, but Romney definitely isn't. You're thinking that I'm manipulating the video here. All right, let's take a look.
Sometimes I just don't think that President Obama understands America. Now, I say that because this week, or was it last week, he said that Americans are lazy. I don't think that describes America.
Okay, that was kind of sleazy to just pull out the words Americans are lazy from Romney's full quote, in which he's actually saying that President Obama said Americans are lazy. Yeah, you got me there. Let's take a look at the full context of the Rick Perry quote.
We've been a little bit lazy, I think, over the last couple of decades.
Can you believe that? That's what our president thinks wrong with America? That Americans are lazy? That's pathetic. It's time to clean house in Washington. It's time for a balanced budget amendment that forces Washington to stop overspending. If Congress balks, cut their pay, send them home. Obama's socialist policies are bankrupting America. We must stop him now.
No, I guess that was pretty sleazy, too. Cutting that Rick Perry thing where to make it look like he said that Americans are lazy and they're pathetic, and that was, you know, I guess some pretty serious video manipulation on my part. And now that you've caught me, I just want to apologize to the nation and hope we can move on. Joining me now, what? Okay. We've got to move here by the crew to actually take a look at the full context of what President Obama said in the Rick Perry ad. Let's see exactly why the president thinks Americans are so lazy.
Looking at the world from the Chinese side is what they would characterize as impediments to investment in the United States. And so how are you thinking about that?
There are a lot of things that make foreign investors see the U.S. as a great opportunity: our stability, our openness, our innovative free market culture. But, you know, we've been a little bit lazy, I think, over the last couple of decades. We've kind of taken for granted, well, people will want to come here, and we aren't out there hungry selling America and trying to attract new businesses into America.
Whoa, wait a minute. We've been a little bit lazy, I think, over the last couple of decades. We aren't out there hungry selling America and trying to attract new business into America. He's not saying that the American people have been lazy. He's saying the American government has been lazy about attracting businesses worldwide to come to the United States. And it turns out there's more.
And we think that we can do much better than we're doing right now. You know, because of our federalist system, sometimes a foreign investor comes in and they've got to navigate not only federal rules, but they've also got to navigate state and local governments that may have their own sets of interests. Being able to create, if not a one-stop shop, then at least no more than a couple of stops for people to be able to come into the United States and make investments, that's something that we want to encourage.
Okay, this is absolutely clear now. He's just talking about what state, local, and federal government can do in a coordinated way to attract business to the United States, to do what China and India are doing right now, to do what all governments should be doing in a competitive world economy. He's saying our government has been a little bit lazy about that over the last couple of decades. It's actually a very Republican-sounding idea that government is, to some extent, standing in the way of new business coming into this country, and that government has to make the business climate in this country more welcoming to business. It's a classic Republican pro-business statement with a little insult to government thrown in there. Is there a Republican out there who doesn't think that the government is a little bit lazy? Is there a Republican out there who doesn't think that every single government worker is a little bit lazy? Is there anything in that statement a Republican would disagree with? Of course not. But if you just cut out a few words in the middle of it, and show that to people, just like I just did with Mitt Romney and Rick Perry, then you've got yourself the makings of a Republican campaign ad. And yes, the campaign is based on a purposeful and absolutely pure lie. And Republicans now want to make it the big lie of this campaign, the big Orwellian lie, that President Obama thinks that Americans are lazy. Rush Limbaugh will be saying that for the rest of his life. And they're making some headway with it in the mainstream media. Politico's article about it begins this way. A video clip of President Barack Obama calling America a little bit lazy is quickly becoming a focus of Republican campaigns. There's the lie right there in the first line of the much-respected Politico, read closely by all of us who follow politics. Now, Politico does quickly, of course, in that article go on to point out that Obama was talking about America's pursuit of foreign investment, but the context may not matter as much as the punchline. The context won't matter at all if the news media does not do its job and provide the context that makes what Rick Perry and Mitt Romney are saying an outright lie. The headline of the Politico piece should not be Obama's lazy remark catches fire. It should be Romney and Perry lie and plan to continue to lie. You will definitely see more of it, said Carl Forty, a former top official at the National Republican Congressional Committee, who is a founder of political consulting firm BlackRock Group. It's definitely something campaigns will use. That is the story. The Republican campaigns openly plan to lie about what President Obama has said. The question for the news media will be, when Rick Perry and Mitt Romney lie, what will you call it? Now, at Fox News, they will call it the truth. They will simply allow them to do it at will, as will the right-wing websites. Complaining about that is like complaining about the weather. It's a condition that we can't do anything about. That's going to happen. But when Romney and Perry face fair-minded debate moderators, will those fair-minded debate moderators allow them to tell the lie that President Obama thinks Americans are lazy? The candidates have publicly announced that they plan to lie. They are like students who have announced that they plan to cheat on the SATs. Any debate moderators who allow this lie to be told about President Obama will immediately in that moment become complicit in that lie.